All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our mobile stream. My name is Patrick France, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest. Welcome, everybody. Hey there, Jay. Hopefully you're doing well. Seeing you the first person in the comments, so welcome, everybody. Hopefully everybody is excited to revisit something that came from our group here that we do every Thursday. So this is going to be a little bit of a throwback, an oldie, but still a goodie that we're going to be taking a look at here today. If you guys can hear me, just let me know in the comments or in the chat, depending on where you're tuning in from. We're live both on Facebook Live and also on YouTube. So if you guys can hear me out there, just let me know in the comments there. Make sure we have confirmation of that. Everything's working out fine for you guys. And then we'll go ahead, jump right into it here. So welcome, everybody. Once again, while we're waiting for confirmation of that, just to give anybody who's brand new here a little insight. What we do is every single Thursday, we talk about the VectorVest Stock Advisory app and cover what's going on in the market. Then we talk about a specific topic. And then as always, we end off with our fan favorite of analyzing any stock that you want to take a look at in less than 10 seconds. So if that's what you're looking for, if you're looking to learn how to improve your trading, how to improve your investing, look for new ideas, you're in the right spot. Hey there, Drew. Good morning. Hopefully you're doing well. So I should be live. Hopefully everything is coming through. Hey there, Dominic. Glad to hear you're doing well. So with that, let's go ahead, start off taking a look at what's going on in the market here today, and then we'll jump right into our topic of discussion. So I see Jay's over on our Facebook page as well. Welcome, VV Nation. VV Nation, if you're glad to be here today, make sure to smash that like button. If you're not part of VV Nation already, make sure to hit that subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner, so that way you can become you can be part of one of the best communities out there right now. All right. So Eli, as always, if you want to see your stocks analyzed, folks, make sure just to stick around to the end. I'll analyze any stock that you want to take a look at. Just stick around towards the end, and then we'll analyze those for you. That way, we're not getting off topic or not getting, off off our top or discussion here today. Good morning, Billy. Garrett started nimble today. Poof, market's red. Yeah, I mean it's still pretty early for what we're seeing in the markets, but hopefully we should be seeing some new life in the markets very, very soon. All right, so right now, taking a look, starting off right here on the homepage, as we can see, the market timing gauge is 3 ticks into the yellow, and the market is neutral, and VectorVest advocates caution when buying stocks at this time. Now, the market timing gauge reads just like a traffic light. So if it's in the red, obviously just like a stoplight. If it's red, that tells us simply stop or do not buy. Yellow tells us to use caution, and green would tell us it's okay to be buying. So with the right end of the yellow, that tells us right now we should be erring on the side of caution. Hey there, Vaughn. Hopefully you're doing well. Tuning in from Vancouver, Canada today. Glad to have you here today. So as we scroll down, as always, the daily color guard report or that daily market update comes out every single night. It's about 5 to 10 minutes long typically, where we talk about what happened in the market today, what to expect for tomorrow, what news you need to be aware of, and really how to prepare yourself for the next trading day. So if you're brand new to VectorVest, especially the stock advisory app, I can't stress it enough how important it is to watch that nightly update to keep yourself on the right side of the market. So as always, that market timing gauge we just looked at gets its colors from the top row of lights of the color guard here, right now in the middle of the page. And as we can see, there's 3 columns that we primarily focus on. The price, which is looking at the price of the VectorVest composite. And if you're not familiar with it, the VectorVest composite is an arithmetic indexed average of about 9,100 stocks out there. The next is going to be the RT, or relative timing, which is looking at the short-term price trend in the market. It's cast on a scale of 0 to 2, so above 1 would indicate that the short-term trend of the market is up, and below 1 would indicate that the short-term trend of the market is down. So at 0.87, that tells us the short-term trend of the market is down currently. And then the last one we're going to look at is the buy to sell ratio, or BSR. Now, every single day, VectorVest gives a buy, hold, or sell rating on every single stock that we track. Well, we use this relationship between the buys and the sells to get an idea on the overall market health. So if there's more buys than sells, then therefore the buy to sell ratio would be above 1, which would indicate strength in the market. And if there's more sells than buys, as there is now, the buy to sell ratio is going to be below 1, and that indicates overall market weakness. After that, we then get the MTI, which stands for the market timing indicator. Now this is going to be cast on a scale of 0 to 2, and once again, above 1 is favorable, below 1 is unfavorable. And this is going to look at the trends of the price, the RT, and the buy to sell ratio. So currently at 0.67, with the MTI looking at the underlying trend of the market here, we can see that the underlying trend of the market is down. And then after the MTI, we then get the trend column, which as always shows 2 parts of the trend each and every day. The first part is referred to as the primary wave, which is just simply the short-term or weekly trend of the market. As we can see, it is up since the price of the VectorVest composite is higher than it was 5 trading days earlier. The second part is looking at the underlying trend, or just simply reiterating the MTI. So since the MTI is below 1, the underlying trend of the market, as we just stated, still remains down. Hey there, Jeff. Good morning. Hopefully you're doing well. And then after the trend, as always, we finish off with the calls column, which stands for our confirmed calls. And our confirmed calls are going to be one of our most conservative timing systems here at VectorVest. They're going to be our last signal we get into the market, and our last signal we get to get out. So as always, we never want to ignore a confirmed call change. And as we can see, we still remain in a confirmed down situation that we got back all the way in November. So, if you're brand new here, thinking about the calls column, how many people, just by, type in 1 in the chat if you guys would agree that, getting out in November, going to cash, or starting to play the market at the downside back in November would have been a good call to follow. I think I'm going to see a lot of ones showing up in chat there. All right. So after that, as always, we scroll down, take a look at the advanced declines, and the advanced declines are a great way to analyze whether or not today's a good day to be buying, or whether or not today's a bad day to be buying. So when we look at the advanced declines, what we're wanting to see is a 2-to-1 bias in a certain direction. So if the markets are moving higher, we want to see at least twice as many stocks advancing and declining. That way it tells us the probabilities are in our favor. If we buy a stock that day, that stock will be the one that's continuing to move higher. And if the market's moving lower, and we want to open up a short position or a contra ETF, then we want to see twice as many stocks declining than advancing, which we currently see right now. Right now, the advances are sitting at around 26%, and the decliners are sitting at around 62%. So clearly meeting that 2-to-1 ratio that we like to see. And then as we scroll down, taking a look at the major indices, as we can see, the Dow's down about 0.2% so far today. The Nasdaq's down over 1%. S&P's down about 0.5%. VectorVest Composite down just shy of a full percent. So major indices started off in the green, now heading into the red. It's been a lot of back and forth that we've seen with the markets, mostly down, but we're seeing these quick pops and then followed by longer drops. So we definitely want to be erring on the side of caution, just like we saw with the market timing gauge. All right, so that's going to do it for what's going on right now. Let's talk about our topic of discussion. So if you're brand new here, from time to time we come up with new, what we like to call watch lists or baskets of stocks in specific areas. So we've done a few of them looking at different areas such as marijuana stocks. We've looked at what else have we had? Well, actually, let's go take a look at it together. So we'll come down to the premium watch list here. Scroll down. We have crypto stocks. We have gold and silver stocks, marijuana stocks, as we mentioned. We've done the ETFs that have been brought here from you guys. And then what we're going to be focusing on today is the clean energy stocks. With all the craziness going on in the world right now, in the crazy prices that we've seen at the pumps, the spikes that we're noticing with oil, that's really brought a renewed view into the clean energy sphere and giving a renewed push to try to revitalize it and make it, take precedence for what's going on. So that way we can reduce our dependence on oil. So that way we have electric cars and a lot more just solar energy, wind energy, a lot of different types of energy that we can really maximize or use, instead of having to constantly go back to oil or petroleum products. So what we're going to be looking at is the clean energy stocks. So if we tap on them, the best part about using the stock advisory app or using just VectorVest in general is that anytime you take a look at a basket of stocks, VectorVest will do the majority of the work for you and bring you the best candidates to the top of the list and the worst candidates to the bottom. So as we can see right now, REGI comes up as our number one candidate. But then below there, we have some other ones. They are going down with the overall market currently. And as we always talk about, all boats rise with the tide and all boats fall with the tide. So clearly, we're still waiting for, some good opportunities to show on the homepage telling us it's okay to start buying before we jump into them. But this could definitely be a very interesting area to keep an eye on if you're looking for new ideas of what could become one of the hottest industries or sectors out there in the market right now. So let's go ahead, take a look at the very first one. As always, we get 4 indicators down at the bottom, all cast on a scaling of 0 to 2. And to keep it simple out there for everybody, all you have to remember is above 1 is good and below 1 is bad. So the first one we're going to take a look at here today is the RV, or relative value. The relative value is looking at the long-term potential of the stock over the next 1 to 3 years. So at 1.05, that tells us we see good long-term potential over the next 1 to 3 years. The next indicator, RS, or relative safety, is looking at the risk factor in the stock, mainly analyzing the balance sheets, the earnings reports, and if a company is growing their earnings or making money quarter over quarter, year over year, that shows a nice consistent pattern, which indicates less risk associated with the stock. So for this one, for example, at 1.1, it is greater than 1, so that tells us there is less risk associated with this one here. And then our third indicator, RT, once again, relative timing, it's looking at the short-term price trend of the stock, and above 1 tells us the short-term trend is up, below 1, short-term trend is down. Not only does it indicate the direction, but it also indicates the magnitude of that move. So, nose itches. Since it's on a scaling of 0 to 2, above 1 to closer to 2 it is, the stronger the uptrend, and below 1 to closer to 0 it is, the stronger the downtrend. So at 1.68, we can see it's on a pretty strong short-term uptrend here. Now, this is one stock that's been coming up time and time again, week after week. You guys asked to see this analyzed. So we're going to be looking at it right now. And then the VST, talking about the value, safety, and timing, is a combination of the RV, RS, RT wrapped up into one So that way it can give you a great overall view of the stock from both a fundamental and a technical basis, all summarized for you. Most places out there only look at either fundamentals or technicals. Nowhere else out there combines it all into easy to understand indicators such as VST. So let's go ahead. As always, if you want to see the graph of the stock, you just tap on it at the top. Let's go. Uh-oh. I have to restart it. Every time I leave it on too long, it ends up always kicking me out. Then I have to re-sign back in. Is it takeover? Yeah. And REGI is a takeover. And that's what I was going to allude to or get to here in a second before we got timed out there. Let's go back to it. There we go. So looking at it here, REGI. We see that gap up. Wait, let's make sure we're on a 3-month basis. We have a 40-day simple moving average. We show the price in candlesticks, and at the bottom we have the RT. So as you can see, just zooming into a 3-month, it gapped up here, and then it's just been moving sideways. The reason why it's moving sideways is exactly what you guys were saying. Chevron is buying REGI, so therefore it's a buyout. And it gapped up to that price, and until that buyout is official, you'll probably just see it moving sideways up until that point. So obviously not a whole lot of potential with this one at this point, but it has been one of the best looking performers before the buyout announcement, and there could have definitely been some great opportunities to make some money with it. But going into the next one, China Recycling, CREG. Now this one, you have higher lows being formed. Let's actually maximize it so we can see it here. You have higher lows being formed recently. You also have lower highs. So therefore it tells us it's consolidating currently. And this is on a 6-month basis. Let's zoom out to a 1 year. So on a 1 year basis, it's been in a steady decline for quite some time, but now all of a sudden you're starting to see consolidation. Well, consolidation after a downtrend tends to lead to a reversal higher, and a consolidation after a long uptrend tends to lead to a move downward. Well, that's what we're seeing right here. The way to play this, if you're using it, or maybe you're using your brokerage account, you're looking at the chart there, simply put a trend line on these highs from, this point here, and then see where it goes to there, and wait to see if it breaks that upper part of that consolidation. And then you could also use a trend line on the bottom part here and then here, which would indicate the lower portion of that consolidation. If it breaks the bottom side, obviously stay away. But if it breaks to the upside, that would be your entry into it for a great run or an explosive run. That way you don't miss out, but at the same time, if you're buying it while it's consolidating still, you can still see that whipsawing back and forth. And then at that point, your capital is more, it's more of a loss of opportunity, because that capital really isn't growing or doing anything for you. It's just moving sideways in that consolidation. So instead of missing out on that or lack of opportunity, wait for the breakout to occur, and then that would be your entry to jump on board. That way you reduce your risk and still have a great, profit potential with that move. So that's on a 1 year. Let's go ahead back out of here, go to the next one. Actually, let's just go back, SEDG. So another very popular one. This one has about average long-term potential, a little bit more risk associated with it than the average stock out there. Timing is still pretty strong. At 1.35, it tells us it is in a pretty nice uptrend so far. Even with it down about 3.5% today, it's been on a pretty good run so far, which we'll take a look at here in a second. So therefore, the short-term trend of the stock is still up. Overall, the stock is favorable. So if we take a look at the graph real fast, as we can see, like most stocks, it started falling back in November, got hit with the overall market, no surprise there. And then now, as we've seen, off of those lows since about the end of January, we've seen some pretty strong moves higher. Higher highs, higher lows being formed. It's been shooting off like a rocket all the way to that 320 level, pulling back a little bit right now. But wait for that green light, or wait for the timing to tell us it's okay to buy. And this could definitely be one of interest for a lot of people out there. If we go back here, take a look at the next one, Canadian Solar, another very popular name. Haven't seen it talked about in quite a while, but a very popular name in the sphere. Looking at the values here, we can see this stock has good long-term potential, but does have a little bit more risk. So this is more of an aggressive play rather than a prudent or speculative play here. Timing, I would like to see timing pick up a little bit. Yes, it is above 1, telling us that on a short-term basis, it still is in an uptrend, but preferably I want to see the RT at a level of 1.1 or higher, indicating that it actually has some decent momentum behind it to the upside. At 1.02, yes, it's in an uptrend, but really just moving sideways more so than anything else. So if you're looking at this one, keep an eye on the RT, wait for that to break that 1.1 level, and then start to, consider adding it to the portfolio if you want. Looking at the chart though, similar situation with what we've seen on all the other major ones so far. Since the sell-off that we've had since November, and now hitting that bottom back in the end of January, since that point, you're now seeing higher lows being formed, also higher highs being formed. By the basic definition, putting this stock in an uptrend. Now, what we'd like to see here, you do have some resistance right at that point where I'm looking at, let's see, the closing price 32, so let's call it 33. You see it hit it there, and then back here, it reached that same level once again. So I'd like to see it, if you're not already into it, you're looking to potentially add it to your portfolio, I'd like to see it break that level of resistance right around $33 a share. And then that would be the entry into it. All of these have had some pretty decent sell-offs, just like we've seen with pretty much everything out there. And so therefore, even if you waited a little bit, wait for it to break that 33 resistance level, you're still getting a bargain or still getting a better deal just because of how oversold the majority of stocks out there already are. As always though, if you're not comfortable with drawing your own support resistance lines, the Stock Advisory app can do it for you. So if we come here, select support resistance, let's say 100 bars, you can customize these as much as you want. We'll just use the basic settings just on 100 bars instead. And let's see, do we get anything? Nope, so let's go ahead, change that up a little bit. Let's go 300 bars. And let's do number of touches required 2. We'll do medium and then average and then broken and unbroken lines. That's fine. And all of them. Okay. Let's zoom out. So we should be picking up on that. Maybe it's not considered a strong or a medium or average reversal. So, I forgot to turn it on. There we go. Simple problems require simple solutions. There we go. Whoops. All right, so if we zoom back into the 3-month, as we can see, here's that 33, right around 33 support resistance zone. We can see it bounced off of this support floor here. If we come back below that point and don't really get back above it, then you could look at, a floor down here closer to these lows. But, hopefully we can see this 33 resistance zone hold, and then, the stock breaks above that point, giving us a great opportunity for a bigger run. Zooming out a little bit, we have a point here. Let's go. There we go. We have a point there around 36. So a $3 move before that next level of resistance, and then up higher, closer to that high there, at around 41. So that gives us about a $7 to $8 move on that stock if we wait for that 33 breakout. So yeah, definitely some good upside potential on a short-term basis here. All right, so moving on, we have JKS or Jinko Solar, another very popular name that comes up quite often during our mobile streams. This one is a little bit more speculative. Looking at the indicators, poor long-term potential, a lot of risk associated with it. Timing though, 1.27 tells us it's in a pretty strong short-term uptrend. Overall, the stock's about average. So the reason I say this is speculative is every single, VectorVest breaks down 4 major categories of investing: prudent, speculative, aggressive, and conservative. When both the RV and RS indicators are below the level of 1, that indicates a speculative trade. When the RV is above 1 and the RS is below 1, that would indicate more of an aggressive trade. And then when both of them are above the level of 1, that would indicate a prudent trade. And then with a low RV or below 1 and an RS above 1, that would indicate more of a conservative trade. And we've talked about it a lot. We've gone over the 4 styles of investing before. So you can always go back, take a look at some of our previous live streams and get more insight there. But right now, this is more of a speculative trade. So more of a momentum play, if you will. And with the RT at 1.27, yes, we'd like to see it a little bit higher, but Still, not a bad place to be. If we zoom in, got a lot of lines here. Let's go clean that up a little bit. So I'll do strong and wide. Let's do 100. There we go. There we go. Cleans it up a little bit here. We do have this support resistance zone that we're coming back down to touching right around that $49 range. We're right out of that here today. So hopefully, you missed that first run up, hits that point, wait to see if it can bounce off of that level. If it can, that would be the entry, playing that bounce for that next leg up higher. But I like what we're seeing with this one, all of them. RT has been steadily rising. You have a lot of potential, especially if, there's more and more news coming out about oil becoming, more and more expensive, harder to get on a global scale. You could see a stronger and stronger push into clean energy stocks, which is why we wanted to bring it here today. Instead of waiting until they've already had some runs, this is going to be more of a speculation style of list to give some potential ideas in the very near future. So that way you guys out there can get your shopping list ready and be prepared for when that turnaround starts to really show itself here. All right, so any questions so far that anybody has? I'm not seeing a whole lot in the chat there, but I want to make sure everybody's, following along, gets the whole mindset of what we're looking at, why we're looking at it here. Don't want to have anybody, be left in the dust, if you will. Also, I see we've got, well over 140 people tuning in here today. If you haven't already, smash that like button, help us out, hit that like button, hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, because all of that helps us out with the YouTube algorithms and helps us continue to grow this awesome community that we built here for the last few years. And if you're on our Facebook page, I see we've got, a good number of over there as well. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up, hit that share button, do so now. That helps us out with the Facebook algorithms as well. So appreciate that, guys. Thank you very much. All right, and with that, let's go ahead. Let me see some of the clean energy stocks you guys are interested in. I know I'm not the only one that's thinking this. So if you guys have some clean energy stocks that you have in mind, let's see some of those and we can start to analyze those together as a group. Or, going through the list, you have a decent number of stocks here. Plug for solar, fuel cell, Xros in here, Sun Power's in here. A lot of big popular names are in this list. Obviously, the ones at the bottom are the ones that are doing the worst. So, be careful with those. But if you guys want to see other clean energy stocks maybe added into this list, let me know where you guys are or what stocks you guys are interested in that are in the clean energy sphere that you want to see out of this list. And we can get those out of here. How do I get to where you are? So Doug, what I'm doing is I just went to the premium watch list over on the left-hand side. And from premium watch list, you can see the Facebook Live FBL Clean Energy from January 28th, 2021 is when we created that. All of them have the names, so that way if you wanted to see how we came up with these stocks or where these stocks came from, you can go back. I don't know if we were on YouTube at that point, but you can go back at least on our Facebook page and watch the replay of that live stream as we brought it to you guys or announced it there. So that's the way you can definitely do that there. All right, let's go back into it. So I see some stocks coming in you guys are interested in or want to see added in. So let's go ahead and analyze those. Enphase, a great one. I've been talking about it a lot here. Got into it in our jockey club just a few days ago. This one though, it's more of a bottom fishing play at this point, or at least it was in the jockey club. RV at 1.16 tells us good long-term potential. RS at 0.97 tells us there's a little bit more risk associated with this stock currently. Looking at the RT at 0.8 tells us the stock has been or is in a steady decline, but we're looking once again for that rebound play. Overall, the stock's about average right now. This is one we've talked about for quite a long time. You have a nice bounce here. I want to see it take out that 180 high to really show the new life is coming in. Had a great run off of that bottom. You have a double bottom there, bounced off. Pulling back a little bit right now with the overall market, but looks like, could be a good turnaround play, especially if we break that 180 level. Let's go see TAN. TAN. So this is going to be an ETF. Great thing about using ETFs with VectorVest is there's only one indicator that you really have to focus on, and that's RT. Because they don't have quarterly balance sheets or quarterly earnings. They don't have balance sheets that you have to analyze. So therefore, the RV and RS, the two fundamental indicators, are always going to be pegged at 1. When looking at this one with the RT at 0.95 tells us it is in a slight decline currently. So overall, it's not going to be favorable. We need to see that RT value pick back up and get above the level of 1. Let's see ARCH. So all these we're going to analyze together. This is coal. So let's go ahead. Stock analysis report. Thermal coal. So would coal be considered clean energy? I'd have to research this one, but I will keep it on my list. I don't think since it's coal, it gets considered as clean energy though. But this one, I mean, good long-term potential, does have a little bit more risk associated with it though. So once again, more of an aggressive trade. Timing is through the roof at 1.98, about as high as you could possibly get. Overall, definitely favorable here. Let's see what else we have on the list. CHPT. CHPT, poor long-term potential, a lot of risk associated with this stock. It's been in a steady decline and still is in a steady decline. Overall, definitely not favorable. So this is a charge point. I believe this is one of the charging station stocks Glenn's been talking about and some of the other content he's produced on our YouTube channel. Yeah, electric vehicle charging network provider. So while yes, it is a charging station, I don't think that could actually, yeah, we'll include that in our clean energy. We'll make that an exception and add that in there. All right, so I see BTU. It's BTU, Peabody Energy. So that is oil, if I'm not mistaken. Coal mining, coal mining. So yeah, not going to be considered clean energy there. Coming from a state that is built on coal mining, I know for a fact coal is not a clean energy. VMAR, but you do have signs for coal. Coal's definitely been an interesting play recently because with all the dependence on oil, you're seeing Germany already announcing it and a few other places announcing it for a short-term basis or for a short-term fix on their energy issues they're going to be running into with not getting Russian oil. That they're going to start using more coal and nuclear and leaning on those until they can get their clean energy up to par with where they want it to be. So with that, coal could have a short-term rally. I don't see that as sustainable, but at the same time, on a short-term basis, it could definitely be an interesting move for a short-term gain, if you will, or a quick trade. Looking at VMAR, so Vision Marine, let's go see. Engages design, development, manufacture, electric outboard powertrain. So yeah, definitely going to be considered there. Looking at the analysis, it is a speculative play still at this point, but the timing at 1.71 tells us it's in a really strong short-term uptrend. So overall, this stock is definitely favorable. See VEV electric buses, VMAR electric motors, PPGH electric mobility batteries. So a lot of great stocks coming into the comments here. And I am definitely going to be... Actually, let's just go ahead and do this. Give me 1 second. Let's do this live together. As a group, we'll go ahead and do this here. So give me 1 moment. Let's go. Where is it? Where did I put it? Here we go. We're going to do this together as a group. So let's go add. And then TAN. CHPT, I believe, was one. Oh, yeah. VMAR. VEV. PPGH. Not found on that one. ENPH will definitely add. Making sure I have all of them here. EVGO. ENPH, EVGO. Hard to see my keyboard when I have my my mic right in front of it. All right. Let's make sure I got all the other ones. ICLN. All right. So I've added those in. Now check this out. You guys ready for it? Let's go ahead back out of here. Let's go stock pick ideas. Give it some time to refresh. Give it a few minutes, or give it a minute or two. Presto. So now we've got VMAR in the list. Where is it? ICLN, Enphase, TAN. All the ones you guys just requested are now in this list. So what a better community than to see exactly what you guys want to see put into the list automatically for you. This is a great thing about hanging out with us every Thursday is, you know, sometimes you guys get these extra benefits of being able to, you know, give your own input into what goes into the app. And that's what, you know, I try to do with these sessions is not only help you guys learn new tips and tricks or learn new ways of investing or learn how to improve your investing, but also to give you the tools that you guys want to see as quickly as we can. So there you go. If you guys are excited about that you guys got to, you know, see it live, adding your own input, get put right into the software, hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. Let's do that. All right. Oh yeah, the VLTA. Let's go ahead. Did I not get, which one was it? Where is it? The charging one. I think CHPT was the charging one. Let's go ahead, add KLIC is, I'm going to hold off on KLIC until we analyze it. VLTA, there we go. And then let's go analyze KLIC, make sure that it meets the criteria that we're looking for. So this one, good long-term potential, less risk associated with it. The timing is a little off. It overall is a favorable stock, but we need to see the timing pick back up a little bit. Engages in a design, manufacturer, sales of tools used to assemble semiconductor devices. So this is more related to semiconductors rather than clean energy. So gonna hold off on adding that to the list. But so far, everything in here should be, related to the clean energy sphere here. So there you go. All of a sudden, in a matter of seconds, all the suggestions that you guys had now put into the software, so you guys have them in one simple to find spot for yourselves. All right. So with that, that's going to do it for our topic of discussion here today. Let's start moving forward, getting into analyzing the stocks that you guys want to see. I know we've analyzed a lot of them based off of the clean energy, but if there's other stocks that you guys want to see analyzed outside of that sphere, go ahead and start putting those into the comments or the chat. And we'll go ahead and analyze those. I see a few already coming through. Let's go ahead, take a look at some of those. I see one of them was QQQ. Starting off with that, QQQ as an ETF looking at the NASDAQ. Our primary focus on this one is going to be the RT with a reading of 0.89 that is below the level of 1, telling us it is in a slight decline. Overall, not favorable currently. Coin, we'll go ahead and get that one knocked out for you guys as well. Coin has good long-term potential, but does have more risk associated with it. You are in a steady decline, so overall the stock is not favorable. Vaughn is asking when is a good opportunity to get into Coin? When it starts going back up. Right now, with that RT rating of 0.5, tells us it's in a pretty strong decline. We need to see that RT starting to turn around, start to move higher here. Let's see, SoFi, SOFI. SoFi, a speculative play. It has poor long-term potential, a lot of risk associated with it. You're in a steady free fall. Overall, definitely not favorable here. JP Morgan, JPM, good long-term potential, less risk associated with it. However, the timing is off. At 0.8, it is in a steady decline. Overall, the stock's about average right now, but not the right time to be long in it for sure. SUN, good long-term potential, about average risk associated with it. You're in a slight or steady uptrend for the time being. So overall, favorable play. LHX. LHX, good long-term potential, less risk associated with it, a nice strong uptrend. Overall, definitely favorable here. CF, good long-term potential, less risk, or a little bit more risk associated with it though. You have a really strong short-term uptrend. Overall, definitely favorable. Let's see, scroll it back up. Scroll what back up? NUE, good long-term potential, less risk associated with it. You're in a really strong short-term uptrend. Overall, definitely favorable here. CVE, good long-term potential, less risk associated with it. Really strong short-term uptrends. So overall, definitely favorable. BAC, Bank of America, good long-term potential, less risk associated with it. However, the timing is off. Bank stocks have been doing relatively well, but now starting to see that decline coming in. You have a double top. Looking at Bank of America, you have a double top right at that $50 range, and look what happened after it hit that double top. As we've talked about many times in the past, support resistance is by far the best crowd mentality indicator out there. People who held and didn't get out the first time it hit 50 and then watched it drop and then come right back. Second time it hit 50, they were out of there as fast as they could be, and prices showing exactly that. Now all the way back down to a 42 support floor. So Bank of America, not the right time to be long in it. Good stock, just not the right time to be long in it. Let's see. NVDA. NVIDIA. Good long-term potential, less risk associated with it. However, the timing is off. A lot of these stocks we're going to be looking at here, the timing is going to be off because, as we talked about at the very beginning, we've been in a confirmed down since November. And a lot of these stocks have been getting beaten up pretty bad here, especially in the tech sector. So overall, it's a great stock, good fundamentals. Just the timing at 0.7 tells us it's still in a steady decline currently. EGY, good long-term potential, but does have more risk associated with it. Overall, it's in a really strong short-term uptrend, so therefore the stock is still favorable. Let's see, NVAX, good long-term potential, but a lot of risk associated with it. You're in a steady free fall. Overall, not favorable here. ARLP, good long-term potential, less risk associated with it. You're in a really strong short-term uptrend, so overall, stock is definitely favorable. Let's see. We already did ARCH when we were looking at the clean energy stocks. So we're going to hold off on more clean energy stocks since we analyzed a lot of those right now. Cold, as an ETF, your primary focus is going to be RT. At 0.17, it tells us it's in a really strong short-term decline. Therefore, definitely not favorable here. TNXP, pharmaceutical, poor long-term potential, a lot of risk associated with it. You're in a short-term uptrend though. You're starting to see a big push. Overall, stock is now average at best, but 81% here today. At 35 cents is definitely going to be a speculative play. I think we can all agree upon that. But you know, if you're a short-term momentum trader, you're somebody who can take advantage of short-term trades or short-term trends, willing to get in and out. TNXP could definitely be an interesting one. Just be careful though, because when you're getting into these lower price stocks like this, every penny matters, and be very, very careful, because if it goes against you, that one penny is going to be a pretty big move in that position there, depending on portfolio size, obviously though, or position size as well. Fan is a wind energy. Let's go take a look. If it is, we'll add it to the system. Global wind. Okay, so yeah, wind energy. Let's go ahead, get that added into our master list. FAN. All right, FAN is now in the list there for you, Mohammed. Looking at the timing though, 1.02, it is in a slight uptrend on a short-term basis. However, it is not above my personal preference of 1.1 or higher. So therefore, average at best. Let's see, where did I leave off at? STLD, good long-term potential, less risk associated with it, really strong short-term uptrend. So overall, definitely favorable here. Hey, my pleasure, Chris. Glad to have you here. Hopefully you're doing well. All right, let's see what else we got. MARA. Samara, good long-term potential, but a lot of risk associated with it. You're in a steady decline. Overall, it's a good stock or average at best, but not the right time to be long in it. FTNT, good long-term potential, less risk associated with this stock. You're in a steady short-term uptrend. Overall, stock is favorable. Let's make sure ABBV. There we go. Good long-term potential, less risk associated with it. You're in a steady uptrend. Overall, definitely favorable here. You know, this is as easy, this is as hard, oh, wrong one. This is really as hard as we need to make analyzing any stock out there. ARM, Drew, I'm not seeing ARM. Let me make sure you have the right one there. But this is really as hard as we need to make analyzing the stock. You know, a lot of people I've seen firsthand experience of even EM or EPAM. Oh, okay, there we go. I've seen it firsthand where a lot of people will spend hours upon hours upon hours every single day breaking down balance sheets, looking at charts, analyzing them 5 different ways a Sunday. And when that happens, it takes all of your free time away that you could be spending with family, you could be spending going outdoors, doing something, whatever it may be that you enjoy. It takes that time away from you. With the VectorVest Stock Advisory app, you can analyze any stock in less than 10 seconds to have not just a whole bunch of data, but usable information to make an informed investment decision in a matter of seconds. And also, you can do it wherever you're at on the go. So you don't even have to be at your home. You could be out and about, maybe going on a hike or going fishing, going hitting a bucket of balls, whatever it is that you enjoy, you can do, and you can still keep an eye and track your portfolio in seconds here using the Stock Advisory app. So as always, if you're already a subscriber, great. Make sure that you have it linked up, especially if you're a desktop subscriber. If you're not, click on the link down in the description of today's video, sign up for the 2-week free trial, and put it to the test yourself. All right, so EPAM, good long-term potential, good fundamentals. However, the timing has been off for quite a while, and it seems to be getting even worse. Therefore, not the right time to be in it. ARM, okay. ARM, AMR, maybe? AMR, there we go. AMR, good long-term potential, but does have a little bit more risk associated with it and a really strong short-term uptrend. So overall, definitely favorable here. GT, good long-term potential, but does have more risk associated with it. You're in a steady decline currently, so overall the stock is not favorable. WEAT, trying to get to some of the ones that we don't typically see here. Some new stocks coming up from you guys here today. So with wheat, looks like an ETF. So therefore RV and RS are going to be pegged at 1. Your primary focus is RT at 1.83, a really strong short-term uptrend. So overall, definitely favorable here. NHYDY. I believe that, oh, never mind. Not what I was thinking it was. So Norsk Hydro, good long-term potential, less risk associated with it, really strong short-term uptrend. Overall, definitely favorable here. See, some really good opportunities coming in from you guys today. I'm liking the new variety that we're noticing. Whoo! INDO, another huge move higher here. This one has definitely been a speculative play, more of a swing trader or day trader style stock. You know, somebody looking to make a decent gain. I know we were trading this at the $5 range, and now it's sitting, just earlier this week, now it's sitting at around $24 range. Man, oh man, this stock has gone gangbusters. Anybody here still holding it from the Jockey Club? I know we got some Jockey Club members in here today. Anybody still holding this right now? Because if you are, hats off to you on that one. But yeah, it is a speculative play. Just, man, that timing has been absolutely incredible. ZIM, let's go take a look. ZIM, good long-term potential, but does have a little bit more risk associated with it. You're in a really strong short-term uptrend. Overall, stock is definitely favorable here. Let's see, UPST, about average long-term potential, a lot of risk associated with it. You're in an uptrend, but a slight uptrend at best. Overall, stock is not favorable here. And ran great pick. Yeah, I did too. And whew, if you stuck around with it, hats off to you. But man, that is a crazy run we've seen just in the last week or so with that one. All right, so looking at XRO has poor long-term potential, a lot of risk associated with it. It is a speculative play. Timing, it's been getting hit pretty bad. So timing is going to be down. It is in a steady decline. Overall, the stock is not favorable still. All right, we'll do one more here, and that will be, then we'll start wrapping it up for today. Actually, we'll do two more here. So LPX, good long-term potential. We have less risk associated with this stock. You have a really nice short-term uptrend. Overall, stock is definitely favorable. And then last but not least, we'll do ADM. Looking at it, good long-term potential, less risk associated with it, really strong short-term uptrend. So overall, this stock is definitely favorable here. All right, if I didn't get to your stocks today, I do apologize. We've got a lot of requests coming in. As always, though, if I didn't get to it, you can pull up the app if you're already a subscriber. Tap on that little magnifying glass in the upper right, type in your symbols, and do exactly what we're doing here wherever you're at. If you're not already a subscriber, click on the link once again down in the description below and sign up for that 2-week free trial and put it to the test yourself. You know, if what you've seen here is interested to you and you're not a subscriber, what are you waiting for? Click on that link, sign up, put it to the test. And as always, let's go ahead back to the homepage, take a look at what's going on in the market now before we finish or as we wrap up here today. So right now we are still 3 ticks into the yellow. The market is neutral and VectorVest advocates caution when buying stocks at this time. Scrolling down, we see those 3 yellow lights coming across the board. Taking a look at the advance and declines. Advances sitting at about 25% now, decliners sitting at about 64%. So we are seeing the widening difference between the advances and declines, favoring the decliners right now. As we scroll down, take a look at the major indices. The Dow is still down about 1/3%. NASDAQ's down about 1.1%, so that really hasn't changed too much. S&P still down about 0.5%. That hasn't changed too much. VectorVest Composite down a full percentage point on the dot. So we have seen a slight deterioration, but we've seen a pretty big pickup with the advance and declines favoring the decliners here right now. So based off of that, I would expect to see, the major indices start to show weaker signs here, start to get weaker throughout the remainder of the session, unless we see those advance and declines start to change. But based off what we're noticing right now, I think we can all agree right now is not a good time to be buying. So therefore, erring on the side of caution, we'll simply hold off from buying instead of going through with some of our trades currently. So on that note, it's been my pleasure being with you here today. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed yourself. If you have and you haven't already smashed that like button, go ahead, do so now. All that helps us out with the YouTube algorithms. Subscribe to the VV Nation if you're not already subscribed by clicking on that red subscribe button right down there, right below me, and join this amazing community that we have here on both YouTube and on Facebook. So with that being said, if you guys enjoyed today's session, you want to see more, don't forget we do have Trending Thursday coming up at 2 p.m. Eastern today with Glenn Tompkins, where he's going to be talking about the headlines that are impacting or having an impact on the market right now. So if you want to see what those major trends are, make sure to come hang out at 2 p.m. once again here on Facebook and on YouTube. So with that, take care, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you all for hanging out with me. And until next time, toodles.